Everyone, Solomon here. I'll be going over this game against Gus. Um, this is the last move that he played, and I'm using this uh, a new different SGF editor just to see how it goes. But as you can see, I don't know it that well, not as well as I know Seagull. But yeah, just giving it a try. So he played this two space high pincer. Still early in the game, so I still have a ton of options. I can still play this mini Chinese. I can make a Shimari here. I can consider jumping out with this stone. I can consider this move still. I can consider invading the corner here, or maybe even here. So lot of moves to consider, and I think a lot of them are valid. So the big factor is just basically, I guess, the move that I'm most comfortable with. Um, so I've been thinking about it, and I think I'm gonna try this move. Um, it's it's like a pincer against his pincer. So I think it's interesting. And this move also, assuming white doesn't get strong in this area, it also serves to be an effective pincer for when white wants to approach here. So um, after here, uh, possible white responses probably this bump, and then I respond by extending, and then he extends down as well, and or jumps, and then I guess I have several options. I it would maybe it'd be a running fight if I went down this way with a move like G14, for instance, or I always have the option to try and settle quickly with a move around J17. So I don't think I'm necessarily the one in danger, but it would just be a running fight that could potentially get complicated, which I don't mind. I mean, I think it's important that even though I'm playing against someone stronger than me, I shouldn't be afraid of getting into a complicated situation, you know. Even if I end up losing the game, I would end up learning more from it. So I think it's very important not to be afraid of getting into that kind of situation. I played a game against Michael Yao in Sweden about 3 years ago or so, and the way I played was, oh well, I'll play really simple Joseki and I'll try to avoid any fights and see what happens from there. Maybe I can get lucky in the end game or something. And it was just a total disaster. And that was probably the game that helped me realize that that kind of approach or that kind of thought process when you're playing against someone much stronger than you is it's not good. Um, in that game, what happened was basically instead of a situation the situation I was thinking of where I'd end up in a fight and I'd end up dying huge. It was just a slow downhill to defeat, and it wasn't much better. So, yeah, I shouldn't be afraid of getting into myself into complicated fights. Anyways, so I think this move is interesting. There's also this Shimari, and then white would probably still bump to make me heavy and then move out, and then I'd have to basically determine the most efficient way of moving out with these stones without giving white too much profit. But you know, because I took the time to play elsewhere with P17, it gives white the privilege of getting the advantage here. As you can see, he's got 4 stones against my 2, so it would be a bit of a bitter situation. Um, I could consider this move as well, I suppose, and then maybe white could also still. I mean, he always has this move, or he could maybe play faster and play around here as well. And one might ask why, if he's got this move, why I don't just jump? Why does that make sense? Why I just don't jump instead? Oh man, I'm so tired. So the reason why I don't want to jump here is because I'm sure a lot of people have seen this Shoseki. I really don't like the Shoseki, and actually, if I recall correctly, current research says this is no longer Joseki, and it's not good for black. So, I mean, even if it was just like I still don't like it for black for several reasons. One, I feel really low here. It doesn't really make that many points. And secondly, it's hard to do much with this J16 stone. Um, this doesn't really attack it, and it doesn't really put that much pressure on it. I'd have to invest another move like J14 before I do something with it. And even then, it's still light and nimble, so I can't really do much with it. So, and it also gives white more this area here, and I don't know. There's just something about this I don't like, so I don't want to play that Joseki. I can consider invading in the corner, but I don't want to give white thickness in exchange for territory so quickly because um, with this opening I made, I want to try to get a situation going where I get both influence and territory. Um, and I'm afraid if I get into this move, I would quickly sink into a situation where I'd give white good influence and I just end up with cash. And I don't want to just end up with cash in many of my games because it ends up being really boring. So I always try to, and I don't try to end up playing games where I end up with all influence. Like if I were to play the Sunren, say, because I'm just not good at um, what's the word? I'm just not good at handling evasions when I'm building Moyo. So I want to end up in a situation where I kind of, both ways, without being too greedy. I want to get some influence here and there with a move like the mini Chinese or something, build a framework, but at the same time get some cash along the way, like through the Shimari. So I want to keep this opening as balanced as possible. So I mean, I'm not saying this is a bad move. I think it's a perfectly valid move, but it's just not the move I'm feeling. So for now, I'm gonna play here and see how he handles the situation. He'll probably bump, and then I'll probably go here, and then basically I need to. Uh, it will probably be a fight here, and it would be a situation where both of us run out or something like that, and whoever gets Sente would be a big thing here regarding the fight. But I don't expect I don't feel like I'm in trouble, but neither should White. So uh, I wonder which is better. At first I was thinking this move, but I think this move is. I don't know. I might need to do more studying later on this if I have time. I still have homework, so. But yeah, I'll be playing L17 and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching.